Alright, I got Blast 40 series. Blast LED, sorry. BlastLED.com. 40 series go-kart clutch. I got a 1-inch drive, 7/8 driven. Nice belt, instructions, really good assortment of hardware. Number 35 sprocket, number 40 sprocket. That's your jack shaft. And then this guy is pretty important because right now, this driven, all your Amazon whatever pulley driven pulleys are coming set up to rotate clockwise. This is set up to rotate this way. Well, on my cart, she's going to go in the back, and that's going to be set up to spin counterclockwise on that Predator there. So we got to change that spring out, and that's actually really nice because they thought about it. I had contacted BlastLED.com, talked to them about it because they showed 2 different springs in their listing, and it's true because they give you 2. They actually showed it assembled with this green guy, but this ain't no big deal to fix. Just take that circlip out, pop that out, and put the new spring in. There's plenty of videos on how to change it. I'm not going to bore you with that, but that's the basic kit. Wanted to show it laid out. Really nice components here. This guy's going to mount to the motor like that. Let's see, flip it around this way. Like that. The motor will be on the right hand side, and the jack shaft is over here. And then my chain sprocket is here. Sorry about that. Got loud kids. That chain goes right there, and that's really cool because on some of the other cheaper versions of these clutches, they got all these ridges and built up shielding or built up support structures to hold this jack shaft because their plates are too thin. This thing is about, this guy's about 25 pounds by itself. So this is nice, really nice hardware from what I've seen. So we're gonna give it a try. See how it actually runs on this cart. This is a pretty heavy machine. Somebody threw a 13 horse on it and didn't change the clutch. Put that Predator motor on it and didn't set it up right. So that's another reason why I really went with this, because like I said, when you wanted a nice system here that's not going to break, because I got 2 kids that are going to definitely try to break it when they get older. I'll probably try to break it a lot more before they get to it. But we're going to switch around. So right now, I'm not going to bore you. We're going to go switch the spring out on this guy. Alright, here's the green one. I'm going to try to do this with my bad finger. Anyway, there's your center hole. You could drill out other holes here to change the torque of how this engages. The tighter you wind this spring, the tighter the clutch is going to be. So it's going to take off easy on you. But we're going to try it. We're going to set it up to do on that stock hole because I don't feel like drilling it right now. We're going to see how it works. I'm going to take that guy. And notice there's a keyway on here too. And on this shaft, there's a key in here. So you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that guy. Put that spring on there.
Oh, I see. I see you.
Yep. So now that's on there. I'll lift that up and show you. Hopefully the keyway don't fall out. Make sure the keyway's in. You're going to take this, rotate it down, hold this pulley at the same time. Try to. And then push that guy down. Okay. And you grab your pliers with your snap ring off here to the side. And you put that on there. There it goes. Okay. So now that is set up to spin the correct way. Alright, we're going to finish this Blast LED 40 series clutch and torque converter install, whatever you're going to call it. Oh, thank you, buddy. I got my helper with me. We're not ready for that yet. We're going to do this again. So I put it on once. Wasn't happy with a couple things. Not because of the converter, but just because this cart is new to me. And we've got some reworks that we did. Finally got all the bugs out of it. I think this is going to be the last time have to do it. This torque converter is absolutely insane. Somebody had this cart and then took the 6 horsepower motor off and put this Predator 13 horse on it, left the 30 series clutch, which kept shredding belts. While they did that, they got all these sprockets and hubs welded on, and not really in the best place. If I were to do it again, I wouldn't have put them there. So I just left the hub welded and just started again. And then you get some really tight clearances in this cart, but when it works, if everything I did works right, it's going to be good. So putting on these 4 bolts that they gave us. They had a great hardware selection, as you saw previously. It's just a little bit of Loctite. The holes are loaded with Loctite already, so that's pretty good. I'm going to zap them on there and then just put them tight with my wrench. And I'm going to make sure that this guy is all the way up in the air, because that's where I want it. Check them now, make sure we're good. We're going into aluminum, so I don't really like running them home with that. Good. Not yet. Okay, and then we're good there. Alright, so now I'll show you what one of the problems I had. The problem I had was with this chain here. We made our own tensioner. Got it all greased up. We had a problem with the chain coming off. Where is it? Can't see my little guy in the way. There you go. There's the back side of the tensioner. Spring. Very simple. Bored out that hole. Got it straight. 5/16 bolt. Nice little homemade washer to hold the spring. And that's gonna help hold that chain in place. So that looks pretty good. I'll set you guys back up here. A calibrated camera stand. I ordered the 7/8 inch jack shaft, which is going in, because I wanted the most amount of meat on this guy there. I got 1 shim. 1 is perfect for the sprocket. You can see there's 2 thicknesses, so we've got to go with the thinner side here, so this way the motor lines up, which was completely another story, but if you got this far, your motor should be kind of lined up. Alright, so now what I gotta do is I'm gonna put the chain on, then I'm gonna bring the video back down to show you what the tensioner is doing. So how do I want to do this? I'm gonna come this way. I'm gonna go around the gear. Put that on there.
Okay.
Oh, I got my helper. Master link through for me. Put it through those holes. Oh, you gotta take that other end out. Hold on. Funny. My helper put master link together on me before I needed it to. Okay. Got that. Put that on the right direction. Sorry, you can't really see that from up there. This is just the master link. Putting it on if it wasn't such a pain. Of course, we also lost the original master link already. Somebody was playing with it on the floor. It's gone. All right, that looks good. So now, I'll show you what this chain tensioner is doing. Got a better view from over here. You can see that guy. Let's see if I can. That looks like it's going to work really good. I got quite a bit of travel in it. Because you know, when you get your new chain in there, or you go to adjust it, I don't want to be moving this motor around. This, you know, they really did a pretty terrible job with it, even though I had to move it again. I shimmed it with 2 washers just because to get it up in the air a little bit, make it level, so it sits level with the tires on it, so I get an accurate oil level reading. But I mean, that nut is right on the frame there. You know, what a terrible place to put it. Anyway, that's how it is. That's how that's going. So you can see I got some tolerance concerns. Now that I got a chain tensioner on it, keep that chain from slapping around all over the place, not from popping off. That's going to be really good. That's going to be really good. Let's see if we can get you. Look at that. That's pretty good. Huh, Sal? What do you think?
Good.
That's going to hold it on nice. All right. So then, let's get you situated up here. Get the rest of this torque converter on. Go from there. Alright, so the other thing we did was I noticed that this 13 horse is pretty strong. So here was the original stock hole. I drilled 2 more holes. I actually couldn't get the spring wound out there, so we went with that hole there. That's going to give me more lower end torque. So this outer part of the pulley will have more force against the belt before it gets sunken in for that overdrive.
What is overdrive?
That means when the, I don't know, make something up, when the motor and the clutch is in good space. So we also made sure that that nut for the tensioner is in the right space. It completely rides in this part of the clutch. I measured it so it fits perfectly in there. Alright, so there's that guy. Let's get our belt. We're going to wind up having to walk the belt on. Yeah, you could try. Now the other thing, before we go crazy, we want to make sure that these 2 backing plates are aligned. So let's get the camera. Come over here.
Beep, 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 beep.
Let's check their alignment. Now, you know, I could move this camera around a million different ways to show you that they're aligned or not aligned. Actually, if you wanted to split hairs, this guy is out a 1/16 of an inch more, maybe a little bit less. I mean, it's pretty darn close if you ask me. But you want to get those as straight as possible. You want those backing plates to be perfectly in line, and that's good enough for me. If you're racing this thing, that's probably not perfect, but if you're racing it, you're also going to have a ton of shims to choose from. I use what I got, and that's where I'm at. Alright, so let's get this guy on. I think I need a bigger.
What? What bigger?
I didn't get a socket for it. Let's get a socket.
Don't get distracted. Don't do that.
Alright, this is a 15/16 nut, no rocket science here. Stick that nut on.
Oh, this.
That's going to be for the other pulley.
Hey.
I'm going to get my snap-on guy out here. I got it on number 2 already. Number 2 is about 80 foot-pounds for me. Somewhere around there, I think. That's good. That looks pretty good. here, nothing grinding except for the rotor on the jack stand, which is fine. We're gonna put our other pulley on. Make sure all this stuff is still correct from what I had before. That looks right. I had to put 2 washers in this nut, in this bolt. So this way I didn't bottom it out. I don't think I'm bottoming it out, but so I got two washers there. They give you this bolt, and then this big nut here, or washer, whatever you want to call it. That's gonna be this guy. I'm just gonna make sure that that really snugged it in, and it is. That's good enough. It's tight. It's probably around somewhere around 35, 40 foot-pounds, I'd say. Maybe a little bit less. Alright, so now that looks set up. That looks good. We got good compression there. And then we'll start walking this belt on.
Daddy.
Yeah, buddy.
It's not on all the way.
Oh, it's not on all the way. Yeah, I know. So, we'll walk it on.
Oh, you want it?
And there you go. So earlier in the video when I was switching this stuff around, you want this lobe, this whole assembly is spinning counterclockwise. You want this lobe to be pressured on here. And now what that spring tightness does is that spring tightness keeps this from winding clockwise because the spring is wound the other way. And what that does is that keeps this belt higher up in this pulley. And this pulley here keeps it higher here, and when this guy starts to engage, he's going to grab this belt more, and the belt isn't going to slip and pull this clutch plate out, or the pulley plate out. This plate will start grabbing the belt more, and I should get more lower end torque. I also, as you can see, I had to put 2-inch wheel spacers on there, because this engine isn't far over enough. I also had a ghetto in the spring here. I had welded this once before. It used to be here. I moved it up. I have to do it again. I'm getting lazy. It's cold. I just want to ride this damn thing. So that's what's going on. Let's look at it from the back. How's up, little man?
Hey.
Must be nice to be 5 and have a father that's a maniac redneck. Yeah, see, we got some tightness going on in here. That's for sure. That's why we want that chain good and tight. You can see in here I got some cuts on that bellow there from that previous chain walking around a bit. That looks good. Let's look at that tensioner in the back. That looks real nice. Real nice, Clark. Real nice. That's pretty good. I think that's going to work. I mean, there's not a whole lot of tension on it, but there's enough. There's enough that spring fully collapses. The spring was just about undone when my tensioner moves back all the way.
Undone.
So that looks good. I think we're all right. You know, the other guy too. I've seen some other comments. You don't have to cut the oil plug. Somebody already cut this one. I know it's real terrible to see. I'm sorry I don't have any lighting, but it's right there. Somebody cut the top of mine off already. I guess it didn't fit with the other clutch. You don't have to cut it off with this 40 series clutch. I keep calling it a clutch. It's a torque converter. This looks good though. I'm gonna put everything back together and get my test dummy for a ride. Who's the dummy, me or you?
You.
Yeah, I know I'm the dummy. Nobody's dumb. Alright, that looks good. Let's see what this guy does. Alright, we got our Predator going here. I'm just gonna show you that clutch engagement real quick for anybody that don't know what it is. Let's see what this girl do. All right, let's see. Brakes off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that worked good. That clutch feels good. We're gonna have to get it in the dirt and see what it does though.